Welcome to Missed Opportunities for Good, the podcast where we open up the space to have conversations about trends and campaigns at the intersection of marketing, advertising, and impact.
Hi, I'm Alana Ficalora.
Hi, I'm Steph Belsky.
We're social impact strategists, colleagues, and friends who are on a mission to revolutionize the industry we love.
Today, there's a lot of virtue signaling, greenwashing, cause washing, or companies saying nothing out of fear of getting it wrong.
Whether it's a moment or a movement, it still has to be real. It has to be authentic and aligned with the brand, not just performative. It's about action being taken that goes along with the messaging.
So we're here to highlight who's doing it well, what could be better, and how companies can stop leaving money and the potential for real social change on the table.
Our guests today on Creative Conversations are Heather Apple and Erin Stevens.
Creative directors Heather and Erin have been bi-coastal creative partners for 7+ years. They've worked in agencies across the U.S. on everything from Super Bowl spots to social campaigns, from luxury cars to mayonnaise jars. I love that. In 2023, they came to work with Chief Creative Officer Jill Applebaum at Public Inc. so that they could use their creative powers for good and make real social impact.
Welcome to Missed Opportunities for Good, Heather and Erin.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
We're so excited to meet you both. Thank you so much.
Let's get to know you a bit better.
Intro.
Absolutely. Okay, I have a total side question before we get into the first real question. Since you live in different cities, have you ever actually lived in the same city, worked in the same agency together? Have you while working together? Have you always been in different places?
Yeah. We started out together in Austin, Texas. That's where we met at GSD&M. And then we both moved to Portland, Oregon together to work at Swift.
Nice.
And we were there when the pandemic hit. And I got pregnant, and also I lived 3,000 miles from my family. So I decided to move back to North Carolina during the pandemic, 7-month pregnant road trip to North Carolina.
Oh my
and
God.
We've been remote ever since then.
That's awesome.
With brief maternity stints, but otherwise.
Yeah.
We had very synchronized pregnancies. Our kids are only a month and a half apart.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wild. Yeah, it was the busiest time of our life too, professionally. But
wow.
Yeah, so we freelanced for a while, and then now we're working at an agency in Toronto called Public Inc. That's a social impact agency.
Amazing.
That's so cool.
It's the beauty of the quote post-COVID world, though, in that being able to be remote and still work with people that you have great working relationships with and not having to actually be in person. So especially for moms, very helpful.
Yes, it's been great.
So now on to our first real question. If you can each take a turn telling us why you do what you do without saying what you do. So really getting into what drives you to do both the work that you do as a creative and also within the impact space.
I mean, I love being creative. I love that this job is not a typical 9-to-5 job. That doesn't mean we don't work that many hours a week. It just means our job doesn't look the same. We don't have to sit in a desk all day. We're not in meetings all day. Well, sometimes we are in meetings all day, but every day looks different, and it's not the same monotony every day. It's a new challenge every day. It's a new opportunities every day. I don't work on one client. I've learned about so many different businesses and so many types of people through this, and it just keeps me fresh. It's not I don't know of any other industry like advertising where you can just learn so much and kind of make your own schedule and just you get paid to be creative. You get paid to think about stupid shit, to be honest.
And then sell it.
Yeah.
So
and sometimes I'm amazed, why do people pay me to do this? And then I talk to other people and this is their nightmare career. So it is something I guess I was set up to do this. I guess I'm just the right mindset for this job. And I love it. Yeah, that's advertising. I'll let Erin talk about why she's in advertising.
Yeah. And I mean, even you say we get paid to just do stupid shit all day, but also I feel like it's kind of evolved into like more like actually important shit
Yeah.
lately, which has been a big change
Yes.
since coming to Public Inc. in general. We sort of saw a trend in other agencies as we freelanced around for, probably 12 different agencies in 12 months. And, you're
Wow.
seeing a trend in all of these briefs for a lot of these bigger companies like the Googles and the like American Express and just big companies. And they all want to know like what their big thing is. How do they do like cause marketing in a, actually impactful way? That's already a trend that was happening. And then whenever Jill Applebaum, who is a chief creative officer that we worked with at Wunderman Thompson back a couple years ago, took on this new role with Public Inc. We love working with women in general, and I feel like it's very important to just work with people that you respect and know you work well with. So we started freelancing there, and you know, talked about how at other agencies it's like the dream to get a brief like this, but at Public it ends up being all of your briefs have some sort of bigger social purpose. So,
Yeah.
it comes with its own challenges for sure. It's not nearly as funded as, some other agencies work, and it just works a bit differently. But that's kind of nice. I think just the opportunity to use our skills for good. We've already got these like, we're from a traditional world and, just traditional advertising world, and to use those skills, that power to sell people stuff that they don't need and, change it into selling people stuff that they do need, or, like a cause they should care about. Like
Yeah.
it is a transferable skill. So we're kind of new to this space, I would say, but really learning a lot as we go. It's a good, much like we tell people that you can like make a difference just with your little things that you buy. I think that we can make a little difference with the places that we work too. So that's been kind of a nice change.
And a big
Totally.
difference with the skill set that you're bringing to Public.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I don't think we realize like how different the worlds are. Sometimes they're even totally different parts, like subsects of clients. You're working with a foundation or these people that are really experts, way more way more expertise than we have about like how their company is carbon neutral and what the new jargon everybody is going with and saying with and the things you can't say, and how their relationships with the government is like so much of a bigger part of our work now. But I mean, it's interesting and it's definitely a skill I think more agencies will need going forward.
Absolutely. I mean, there's
For
so much
sure.
power, obviously, in using creativity as a force for good, and why we think having these conversations are so important to know that it is possible to use this skill set in a positive way and have a positive impact while still being able to use our creativity and the ability to shift behavior and sell and all of the things that traditional advertising has taught us so well.
Exactly. Now it's just like more clients that deserve it or improving clients that need to do better.
Yes.
Totally. I know you sort of touched on it a little bit, but what first drew you both to doing this impact driven work? What's exciting to you about it?
I think the opportunity to do, work for clients that, sometimes just this sounds kind of silly, but the bar is kind of low in a lot of these spaces. In like a traditional advertising world, the bar is high. You're working with like giant budgets and really just like the best creatives out there. And then a lot of the sustainability and impact work, it's doesn't have the talent or the funding to like get the attention it deserves. So
That's right.
it was kind of a nice opportunity to, I don't know, it feels like we're like tooting our own horn a little bit, but like just
you
using
should.
your talents for something good, something that deserves it. It's a little bit more of a the bar is lower in a lot of places, and the clients are so much nicer because they're so appreciative of all of the help.
Yeah.
They almost see your job as like helping them, and just being able to explain things better and making people care in a way that they were not able to do before, just because they didn't have access to that sort of advertising mindset.
And career-wise, this is good for us too. Like personally for our books, this is good for us because when we were at GSD&M, we were doing a lot of traditional stuff.
Yeah.
And we went to Swift because we were able to do a lot of social stuff. And now like the industry is swinging more towards this impact marketing. We need to get our skills up in this space because we knew we didn't know a lot about the impact marketing space, but I don't think we had any idea of how much we did not know until we came here. And so I feel like we're just making ourselves more rounded creatives as well through this job.
Amazing.
Sorry, I have a follow-up question to that now. Curious in that sense, what differences you think there are, or what skill sets, I mean, even for, listeners who might want to work more in this space, where you think those differences are and how people might be able to upskill in those areas to do more work in this space, or what you found to be the most helpful as you've learned to work at a purpose-driven agency.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to pay attention. You have to start looking for the campaigns that are coming out that are purpose-driven. So honestly, they're not usually the ones that are in the front of ad week. Sometimes they are, but they're not always. And you do have to like look for those opportunities and look for those clients and just see what they're doing. I think you can't do this at home, but coming to public, there's so many people there that have such deep knowledge and they're sharing it all the time. And that's been extremely helpful. I mean, Phil is amazing. He is like the leader of our company and also just kind of a leader in the space. And he just, he knows like everything. And then there's so many talented people as well. And a lot of the people in our agency are also doing their own, like outside of the day-to-day work, they're doing their own stuff in the impact space.
Yeah.
And that's been like interesting and inspiring to watch as well.
Yeah.
As far as learning, go ahead, Erin.
Oh, I was just going to say it's a very like passionate culture within the agency. You're really challenged to, even if you don't have something that you're like, this is my thing, I'm passionate about this, I volunteer here, 20 hours every week. Like they challenge you to like care more in just a personal level, not just like a work level,
No, other agencies are just adding the word sustainability.
Right.
This is just one example. Other agencies are adding the word sustainability to things. I'm now learning that sustainability is a taboo word. It's a word that clients don't want to use anymore. So I don't know. It just feels like you're ahead of the curve and you're kind of paving a way of what's going to go into all the other agencies eventually.
Yeah. You learn to spot. Our agency talks a lot about like greenwashing, and it's hard for us to spot as well, which is just really hard. I feel like that's a lot of our job, is helping our clients, do good, but also not greenwash at the same time. And that comes down to like both words, like Heather was saying, of like, okay, now we can't say sustainability, now we can't say planet positive, we can't say carbon neutral, we can't say like good. And you're just like, oh my god, like what can we say? And then everybody starts to say that new word that they saw was interesting. Somebody really used their thesaurus that day, but like in the art direction is this whole other thing of like, we can't show an earth, we can't show anything green, we can't, like, it's like, oh my gosh. So I mean, just keeping up and being able to spot greenwashing is a skill, and I feel like it is something that you can kind of start ahead of time, and being able to spot like brands that maybe just do something for campaign purposes, and you can kind of spot the like profit a little bit over their purpose. Like, are they, people will call them out is the thing. Like, all you have to do to spot greenwashing is check social media once a campaign comes out, because they're going to get called out, you know, for not living their brand truth within their company. You know, like, oh, you talk about mental health, yet you do nothing for your employees, yet you do nothing, you know, it's like giving to nonprofits, yet you've only did it for a month and not like throughout your, you know, brand's history. People will call you out for that.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a big part of working with brands so closely that we've realized is you can't just do the campaign. It's sometimes we're thinking of ways to activate their employees, ways to, you know, sometimes it's thinking about what these, you know, giving them like a strategic purpose. You know, sometimes there's a brand that could go a lot of different ways and they want to know what's right for them. And it starts with our strategy team, and then it comes to us and the creative team to figure out how to communicate that clearly and make people care when there are so many things that people should care about. Why should they care about this one?
Yeah.
And it's like a push-pull to, like, you have to make sure you're checking all the boxes. You have to make sure you're treating your, like Erin said, you have to make sure you're treating your employees well. You have to make sure you're doing the good things in the background before you can come out and make the statement. It's like brands wanting to go on Twitter. You can't just launch a Twitter ad. You have to be on Twitter first. You have to establish a presence. So these brands, we see them establishing a presence, and that's something you can look for as you're doing your research at home. You can like see what they're actually doing, see what does that word mean, and really try to get to know, like, okay, carbon neutral, what does it mean though? Like what are you really doing?
Besides
I always
buying
find
carbon
like the
offsets,
littler
yep.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I always find the littler stuff they're doing to be the most interesting, to be honest. But
we do too.
Yeah, it's definitely about doing the work first and having a clean house before you talk about it. And on the and on the greenwashing note, I'll give a shout out to Creatives for Climate. Actually, has a greenwashing course on their community platform that if you join their platform, it's free. And then I think you can pay for it, or they have the thing for companies to buy it for their employees. But the fact that even exists as a course for people to take now goes to show, you know, where the industry is going and what's needed. And now there's so many regulations, especially in the UK, but also, you know, starting to be here as well, that are literally fining brands for greenwashing. So it is so important. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we actually almost touched on this earlier in that, talking about public and everyone having these side projects on the side. Going into your experience there, then, do you have issue areas or causes that you each are personally most passionate about, or organizations that you are super passionate about?
Yeah. My side project is I write bios for cats, adoptable cats, that live in Austin, Texas. So I've been doing this for like 6-7 years now, I guess. They have a really simple system set up. They have like volunteers, and you just go in, and the foster fills out a form about the cat, and then you write up their little paragraph about the cat. So I'm really passionate about cats, especially, but all animals. And then I know Erin and I are both very passionate about like female empowerment.
Yes.
Female empowerment and body positivity is something I want to do more work in that space. Now that we're both moms, we're like really passionate about that as well. Like just advocating for moms, for their mental health, for getting some fucking help out here, especially in America. It's like
this childcare crisis.
When I see what other countries do for women who are having babies, I am like, why can't we do better?
Yeah.
I mean, those are just some issues.
Yeah. I mean, it's all of the things that feel most natural and that we feel like an expert in those spaces right now
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
being a woman and a mom and advocating for mental health and body positivity. That's just where we are right now. So I feel
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and we love to do work that has just humor involved in it. And it's been kind of fun to find those places where you can talk about a serious subject, but maybe in a more fun way and make things a little bit less taboo, because I feel like that's how we would want to be talked to. So,
Yeah. Give it some
um,
levity.
I know we are not like sad, emotional creatives. I just don't think we have it in us, but just
Yeah.
like make it funny and
Totally.
then I'll be emotionally attached.
Right.
It's like we could do it. We could do it. We just don't want to.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
would
convincing
say.
myself.
Yeah.
But it's so important
If
to
you
be
don't
able to
need
bring
to.
levity to some of these deeper topics that have been
Yeah.
taboo for so long, right? Even mental health, women's health. Obviously, we'll get into periods as well, but all of those pieces, I mean, being serious about them and taboo and focusing on that side obviously hasn't been working all this time. So let's bring some humor to it and bring some awareness and get people to laugh about it and make some change.
Yeah,
And
very like
just
funny because it's true sort of stuff really is the work that we love to do, and it
Yeah.
also totally fits for impact work. It's like
Yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah.
comedy.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Speaking, before we jump into the amazing campaign that you've brought us, we're just going to quickly review our criteria, both for you both and for our listeners as well. So the first thing we always look at is alignment.
Next is partnerships,
Call to action and transparency,
engagement,
and optimization and amplification. So on that note, Heather and Erin, would you please tell us the campaign that you are bringing to us today that you worked on at Public? And if you could just give us a quick summary of the creative that you worked on, that would be great. And that'll kick us off.
So the campaign that we brought is one that we worked on personally at Public. We actually just wrapped it. So this is January now. We just wrapped this one in December. It was literally a whirlwind of, shoot it one week and it's out in the world the next, finished and done. But
wow,
Oh my
we
gosh. Was
do a
that really?
campaign.
It was 1 week?
that's
Yeah.
impressive.
For production, full
For
production and
for
post.
production.
Yeah.
That's really fast, though.
It's very fast.
I have a production background. That's really fast.
Yeah, it was a little, I think our producer Mark, shout out to Mark. He was like brand new at the agency and he pulled out absolute miracles. And I think it almost killed him, but he did it. And we're so grateful to him and his expertise.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Shout out Mark. Shout out being one of 2 males on this project as well.
Love that.
So really the brief was out to the whole agency. They do a holiday campaign every year. In the past, last year, maybe the year before, it was a Fuck You 2020 campaign. And it was all about raising money for a mental health organization. And that was really successful. So every year we get to do an agency-wide brief on, it's just literally wide open. It's one of those things where you're just like, oh my God, there's so many things that we should, get money for, and so many things that people should care about. And also the holidays, oh my God, it's like consumerism nightmare, like a very crowded space. So we wanted something that would stand out. We love the opportunity to just be able to work on whatever we're passionate about. So just filtered through all of these different ideas from the agency across tons of different subjects. From, there's a lot of like book ban ideas. There was a lot of ideas, obviously, around a lot of the, like wars in Gaza and Ukraine and anti-Semitism. And it's like, oh my God, so much stuff is so important right now. But how do you find that thing? So we worked in a small group with our strategists and one of the many ideas that we had was this insight on period poverty. So there's some stats at the time that we actually just updated throughout this campaign as well. But the 1 in 3 people who menstruate have trouble affording period products, which is crazy. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. 1 in 3 is huge. So that was just kind of an astounding fact to us. And then we are thinking about how we could create this into a campaign that we could execute in time, really quickly, relevant and breakthrough for the holidays. And yeah, I'll let Heather sort of take us through how we got from the insight and sort of problem into some of the creative executions we got.
Yeah, like Erin said, the strategists, they all brought us different insights. So Beth brought forward this period poverty thing. We jumped on it. And honestly, like it just made us mad. Like there's a sense of rage to it. Like, really? Are we really here now? So I guess we started thinking about, the holidays. I think we made a list really of like all these holiday related things and looked at the list and like, how do you take these unrelated things, period poverty, and match it up with something holiday related? And that's a good exercise for brainstorming in general. So we landed on Santa, and Santa's he's very male. He's he's not helping any ladies out there. And so there's this German, I think it's German folklore, Dutch folklore, Krampus with a K.
Yep.
And Krampus is like the anti-Santa, really. Krampus is more of a demon. I don't know if it's he or she, probably a he, knowing that it's so old, but Krampus, they go around. Krampus actually does some pretty violent things. They kidnap children. They beat them with sticks. Oh yeah, we decided to skip that part about kidnapping and beating. And the name Krampus, obviously very close to cramps, which is another infuriating thing about periods. So we changed the name from Krampus with a K to Krampus with a C, just to make sure everybody gets the little connection. And started developing this character that, instead of bringing toys to good little girls and boys, Krampus brings period products to good little girls, badass women, and anybody who has a period, because we need to be inclusive. Not everybody is a cisgendered female who menstruates. So we wanted to make sure we use the term people with periods. So
I love it.
So we just started thinking about like, what is Krampus's story? What is her back lore? Like what does she do? How is she different from Santa? And like, how is she enraged by this? Like, Krampus, she's unhinged and she's mad because she is like all women. Like, we're just so tired. And Krampus is she's one hell demon who's supposed to be responsible for getting all these period products to all of these people with periods in need. She can't do that by herself. So this is like her video to say like, wake the fuck up and help me with this problem. Help me end period poverty. Give me what I need, which is your money. Honestly, it's an awareness campaign, but it's also a call for donations. And Krampus she doesn't do anything half-assed. When she wants donations, she says, "Give me your money." She's a bold lady, and she's passionate about period poverty. So I hope that was a good explanation of how we came up with this. It was kind of just a verbal spewing. But
right. I mean, throughout the process, we realized we were really thinking about a lot of different partners that this could work well with, both partners that are Canada based and ones that were US based, since we are, a North American agency. It really encompasses both. We landed on Period, which is actually a nonprofit based here in Portland. I'm over in Portland. And they were just wonderful to work with. They have connections to a lot of different period product companies, and they make those connections to the places that need it. So sometimes this is schools, and sometimes this is, different food banks. That's actually a big thing that food banks need.
Yeah.
Any sort of like women's housing places. Nobody thinks to donate period products. So
Right.
getting a bunch of cans, not a bunch of pads and tampons and cups. And another part of their outreach is just through these chapters that they have throughout the US, but I think they do actually have some chapters internationally. It's a lot of younger girls, so this might be like high school groups, Girl Scout groups, college groups, and they have different chapters where they do a lot of education now on. It was really interesting. We were learning as we were working with them, but they do a lot of education on sustainability. So right now that looks like, educating on cups over like tampons and pads, or reusable, washable period underwear, stuff like that. So they have good connections to, more modern period companies as well. But it also gave us an opportunity to do something a little bit more hands-on too as an agency, which can be hard. As you know, Alana, as an ex-producer, it is hard to do IRL things. Like sometimes a video is expensive, yes, but in fact, we got almost everything donated for the production of this. So almost everybody that was there donated their time, their skills. The director donated, or everybody was just getting paid like minimum per union sort of things, and donating all of this amazing creative talents. But we really wanted a way to get it a little bit more on the ground as well. So activating those different chapters that period has, and being able to like deck the stalls in real life was just a really wonderful part of this project as well. Being able to take stockings full of period products and literally just hang it on the hooks of those stalls that are already there. So whenever you see that, stall, or see that bathroom that just has that broken, tampon and pad machine, no worries, Krampus is there. Or if you are a, bleeder who is a little bit more privileged, we do have the stickers there as well to get you to donate at the site. And yeah, it was just fun to think of all of the different, it's like shocking how many, all the legs that this idea has to get from like, periods to Krampus and cramps and deck the stalls and stockings, and just really make people realize the severity of the problem, but also just the stupidness of it. Like, why is it, more expensive or taxed in some places? You could go down that route, which Period's doing a lot of work with, and a lot of companies are. But also just, why is this not more readily available, as if it were toilet paper, Like, how do we get people to care? And we love getting people to care by doing something that is just funny. And even talking to all these period companies and like period product companies, that's totally just in line with their brand voice as well. I think they're especially targeting like younger people now, so a little bit more of the Gen Z audience, as we all are targeting. But it is a different voice that they want to hear things in. It's not emotional, like sappy sad demo or begging. It's like it's funny. It's not, making things less taboo is just totally where they're at. So we showed them the script, and they're basically just like, no notes. This is perfect for the brand and exactly like what our audience would respond to. So it was a very easy partnership in that way. They're just like, yes.
Amazing.
It was pretty shocking that no one was like, oh, you can't say see you next Tuesday. I was like, that line will die, obviously. Like, that line's gonna die. And it made it all the way through. But I mean, Erin's right. I just want to call out, like, Krampus is just the spokesdemon. She's the face. but the real idea, the action is decking the stalls. And that's what activated the chapters. And that's the ultimate goal, is to deck the stalls metaphorically by giving all these people what they need. So
amazing.
I was just going to say, so first of all, just thank you for all the amazing work that you've both done on this. There's a nonprofit that I'm really involved with called Dignity Grows, which is all about, it's similar to the period movement, but it's all about providing a month's worth of supply of menstruation products to people who menstruate, but also in this dignity tote, they also get, a month's supply of shampoo and soap and toothbrush and toothpaste and deodorant. And it's like this full circle of cleanliness and of hygiene. And I love what Period Movement is doing, and how they're raising awareness, especially that it's a youth-led organization too, is so critical. And the work that they're doing with schools and with communities, it's just brilliant. So, and the fact that I didn't even know that there was an IRL activation component of this. So to see that coming to life must have been so exciting and just really fun to watch, and to see that Krampus is everywhere, been just like Santa.
Yeah, exactly. She's magical.
It was our way of visiting every household.
I love it.
Every stall.
I was just gonna say, the dignity totes, it's just stuff you don't think about it. Like,
right.
We've all been in a situation where our period started and we didn't have a tampon on us or a pad on us.
Yeah.
And there's that moment of panic, and that, where am I going to get a pad? Where am I going to get a tampon? We usually have a friend. We can solve it relatively quickly. Just imagine you get your period and you don't have a tampon or a pad, and you can't get one.
Yeah.
Like, you can't afford it. Like, I just can't imagine it. Just coming to that realization and trying to think about, like, there are people living in that reality. It's infuriating and sad. So.
Yeah.
And it's not even like traditional poverty either, right? It's it's just wild.
Female
and
poverty.
Horrible. Yeah. And it's a whole systemic issue, and it needs to be talked about more and more. So hopefully this is the start of many more campaigns around this, because it's critical. Yeah. Alana, what were you going to say?
A couple questions. One, in terms of the in-person activation component, can you speak a little bit more to how that, like, what was actually done and how that got activated in person, obviously working with the chapters, and also, and then in terms of the partnerships, obviously with Period. And then also, I noticed on the website there are a bunch of brands represented as well. So did they help fund? Are they donating product, or were they donating product to those chapters, or wherever, the decking the stalls happened in real life, or how those other partners were involved in the process as well?
Yeah. So first, I have to say, just the people at Public are amazing. Beth and Laura and Rachel, they reached out to so many people and places and got donations and just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. We wouldn't have gotten the support we did without these three women.
They're like the nicest, like, honey badgers of just like, if you tell them no, they're like, oh, okay, I hear that, but what about yes? And then they like somehow convince you. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The talent.
Yeah. So all the products you see on the site were donated. They donated their products to the cause. So I think we got, someone said maybe, I don't want to I don't want to quote the wrong number, but I want to say it was $500,000 in product donations.
Wow.
But I don't want to tell you that and not be right about that. But it was,
I think it was somewhere around there. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
It was a lot of product donations. Yeah. And then the partnership with Moontime, just making sure that we're also benefiting Indigenous communities with this campaign. So they're also, from my understanding, they're also receiving some products from this initiatives, products or money. Yeah. So that's two different ways to donate, really. Like the companies, our partners are donating products, and then we're asking individuals to donate money.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answered your
Yeah.
questions. And then a lot of the other companies, the production companies, they donated time and talent and those types of things. And then Rachel, that works at Public, who's amazing. And then there's Rachel, who is the actress that played Krampus, who's also amazing. And she actually took a lower rate, and she's been so excited about this project and did so much promoting on her own feeds. And that was just really fun to see too. Beth reached out to so many media companies, and she got us wild postings and out of home and all sorts of donated pieces as well. But you actually asked, how did Deck the Stalls come to life, the activation? Yeah. So we came up with this activation. We made a deck, basically, that Period could send to their chapters. And it told you exactly what to do. It was like step by step. It's like, we're making this campaign. What we want you to do on the ground is this. So it was like, buy stockings, fill them with products. We made stickers that we knew you could print out on label sheet you could buy from Amazon.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be cost prohibitive. Like you wouldn't have to go to a production house to produce stickers. You could print them at home. We even made a little soundtrack that you could listen to during your stuffing party, your Decking the Stalls party.
I love it.
And then we said, take them to your local public restrooms and hang them on hooks. If they don't have a hook, use a command hook. Like, do what you got to do. Try to take them to places where people are in need. But like Erin said, if it goes to somewhere where people aren't as in need, that like link to go donate money will be there. So that's how we activated people. We sent them instructions.
That's awesome.
Right. And examples.
And did they then send back photos and stuff as well of what they did? I mean, that must have been fun.
Yeah, they posted. Erin was able to go to the one in Portland.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then, of course, Public had its own in Toronto, because we got to do our part too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right. This is a very, very, very low budget / no budget campaign and activation. So it really relied on just everybody donating, little bits by bits of their skills or money to make it happen. But we're super grateful that they believed in our idea in general. And it feels like, it's just been like the most positive community to be a part of.
I love that. And I think it's so cool that it seems like in lieu of doing a holiday card or a holiday party, that Public instead does a holiday campaign with the goal of raising money for an organization or highlighting a social issue. And so the fact that the values internally, not only that that's what the agency represents and puts out in the world, but that that's what they do for the holidays as well internally, and to be able to put this type of a brief out and be able to activate on any sort of issue or insight that's coming up that seems particularly relevant in that year is very cool. I also love that you even thanked all of the crew. I mean, I've done so many PSAs where nobody even tells us anything about what happens to it after the fact. So even just like that little note of thanking everybody and all the vendors that donated time and worked on the project, I think is so amazing and thoughtful. And maybe missed opportunity or future way to incorporate. But I was just thinking, I've been a member of Junior League for years, and they have chapters all over. And I'm like, while it's not necessarily an issue area that any of the leagues specifically focus on, Junior League is spread out everywhere. And so it almost seems like something that Junior League should sponsor. And you have that kit that could be sent out to all the leagues. And that could be a one-off done in a day where people put these kits together and go distribute them even into their community partners, because often so many of the community partners are women or children based, but obviously of age at which girls start getting periods and all that as well. People start getting periods. So I mean, obviously it was a short timeline, but it's of course,
I know.
It's
Dang
easy
it, Alana.
to think about it, things afterwards. I'm like, and then you could also use this. I mean, there's so many organizations, right? But so many partners to bring in limited time. But if there's ever a continuation.
We had so many other ideas that just couldn't be done because of the time. But I also want to call out the senior team under us. They wrote the scripts for the TikToks.
Nice.
And one of the TikToks went viral. That term feels so old school, but one of the TikToks went viral, and I just thought that was amazing. They made that happen with their creativity, and it was the one about the coochie cookie. So it went viral. So yay, good job, Sarah. Good job, Michael.
Perfect.
Wow.
And then, of course, Paul and Liz for putting them out there. Paul and Liz, our poor social team who had to work over the holidays putting all this content up. They were amazing. They were
also just like personally messaging, DMing anybody with a following that would do it. So we actually did get a good amount of influencers to just post it, which is nice.
I was going to ask if there was some kind of talent or influencer partnership. But it sounds begging. Like it was just begging.
Literally begging and like feeling super embarrassed that you just sent a DM to one of your celebrity idols.
Like, hey, Michelle Obama. Hey, girl. Long time no talk. Hey, Drew Barrymore. Hey, Beyonce.
Hey, Britney Spears. What's up? So, oh my God, those people did not respond. But I'm sure that they saw it. I'm sure they saw it and thought in their hearts. They responded.
No, Heather.
In their hearts, I'm sure.
Their social media team saw it.
That's very true.
Responded in their hearts.
Very, very true.
No, that's tremendous and a lot of work. So yes, well done to everyone on the team. And, you know, just something that we had been talking about earlier, this whole idea of employee engagement, like this is employee engagement at its core, right? Like taking an issue and also something that is good for the planet and good for people and just thinking outside of yourselves and in the community. It's tremendous work, and kudos to the public and to Phil and the team. It's so good.
Public's employees, they really do care. They're some of the hardest working people I've worked with so far in my many, many years doing this. And they're just good people too. Just the best combination.
I know. This is our first Canadian agency to work at, and I feel like the stereotype is true. Canadians are so nice and lovely. Yeah. Another reason why we wanted to work there.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Has Period gotten back to you guys in terms of like how many donations they saw? I mean, I know you mentioned like over $500,000. Maybe we're not quoting you on that, but ballpark of in-kind donations. But any return on the donation investment from
next week is supposed to be when we start getting in some real numbers.
Cool.
So yeah, we can't speak too much on that yet, but
that's
Erin got some Christmas presents that were donations, right?
I did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
I did get some Christmas presents in donation form, which was lovely.
That's so sweet. Well, we'll definitely have to follow up because that's one of the criteria that we look at is like how much do these types of campaigns actually raise? You know, what is the return for some of these nonprofits? And obviously, you know, being able to physically show the stalls being decked is one very tangible return that they can see, but I'm always very curious about the donation components of it. So we'll be very excited to follow up.
I feel like no matter what the number is, I'm going to be like disappointed because I you know, like you want it to be like
no one ever has a problem buying any Period product again ever.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you want to be like, we solved period poverty. We raised $50 billion. But that is not going to be the case. I need to set my sights a little better than that. But I am excited to see what comes out of it.
The donations from the organizations is also really huge too, because that is a lot of products, and they can go directly to Period, who has the connections to get them where they need to go.
Yeah.
I was going to
So
ask
good.
what happens next, because I know you said you wrapped the project. So is there any continuation other than, checking in with Period to see what donations are, or does it kind of end here, or is there any sort of continuation with this campaign as 2024 begins?
I mean, I'm thinking it probably ends here. You never know, but
Yeah.
deck the stalls is a very holiday-oriented phrase, and Krampus is a pretty holiday character. So I guess what's next is we do more creative work to solve more problems out in the
Right.
world. Yeah.
My sense is that we'll probably keep connections with Period, and especially like some of the brands, that were a part of it as well. So let me see who they were. I'm sure our client team is all over it, but like the Cora,
Salt.
Joni, Salt,
Yeah.
Period Aisle, a lot of those. I mean, obviously, we would love all of our business to be favors and donated time, but these
Of
are
course.
companies that, we know have social impact as part of their brand values now. So
Yep.
that is a great connection. And I feel like that would be a dream client for me and Heather to work on any sort of Period brand. Just love that personality. So hopefully there's connections and continuations along there, but I think as far as, where Krampus and Deck the Stalls go, this might be it, and then we'll, as an agency, move on to a different topic, or, see what creativity inspires for next year.
Well, and hopefully, Period movement can bring back Krampus every year, because
Yeah.
now this is something in their zeitgeist and their wheelhouse, and a new mascot for them, really.
We
Yeah.
definitely have some more scripts we could throw out there. We're ready.
Mhm.
Just
You have that guide to
time.
deck the stalls in IRL, so
Yeah.
we can
Mhm.
continue every
Yeah.
year. On
Let's do
that,
Christmas in July.
yes, exactly, right? Feels right. People still get their period in the summer. On that note, curious, before we wrap up, since I know we spent so much time talking about this project, if there is any other impactful project that you've done in your time at Public that you're also really proud of or wanted to share or highlight or mention as you've gotten to dive into this space.
Erin and I are relatively new at Public, so this was only our second project there. Our first project was for Sunnybrook, which is a hospital system in Canada. Canada's healthcare system works differently. So obviously we're all, So their hospital systems are all impact, kind of
Funded.
organizations. Yeah. So we did a campaign for Sunnybrook. It was kind of great.
Yeah. Again, I feel like we've touched on this, but the idea of bringing just a different advertising perspective to some of these, not that the hospital is totally a nonprofit, but they do get a lot of their funding through donations, and the foundation is a really, really huge part of it. So this was working with the foundation of the hospital just to bring, they're raising money to get better equipment and, like new wings of the hospital funded, and better, healthcare funding for all of the Canadians there. So we just wanted to do something that just felt fresh to us. We're not inundated in this Canadian, hospital culture, and it actually does have a big, the hospitals there. Actually, some of them do have some epic campaigns. Like some of them were like, "What is this movie about this children's hospital?" It's amazing. It's 5 minutes long, and there's a Billie Eilish song on it, and
God,
there's just amazing directors working on some of this stuff, and
it's called Sick Kids. So look it up, Sick Kids Canadian Hospital. They have some pretty crazy spots.
Yeah, and some of the other hospitals too, even in Toronto, we didn't look all over, the country, but some of the other hospitals, they just had some really great kind of like epic work, but we did sort of start to notice a trend around it being like a little bit more of the like sad, sappy part. I don't know. I feel like sometimes, cause marketing can get a little bit like, this is an epic battle and it's us against, these terrible things, and help us join the fight. That's one way. And then there's another way that's like, I don't know, can sometimes get a little bit more like corporate of like, we're doing this, join us. And then there's like sad, like, help these poor people. Those are ways that you see over and over again. But a way that we hadn't seen as much was just a more like optimistic approach, something that just felt kind of warm and colorful. And we really wanted to make this hospital feel like a place you wanted to be. Weirdly, nobody wants to be at a hospital, but
Yeah.
we wanted people to leave with that sense of like,
Yeah.
man, I would be lucky to be there. What a great place. So that was an interesting project that really combined, our advertising background with this new social impact space
Yeah.
really well for kind of our first project. And we've done like a few other projects sort of here and there with public, working with Rivian and Samsonite and a couple other brands, and sort of getting there. Those are some bigger ones, so sometimes the work is still in the growing phase of like, all right, we got to change from the inside part.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
So we're getting to the outside still.
Well, and I just in thinking about, I call it the Sarah McLachlan effect. Like,
Yes.
like to go from dead puppies, sorry,
Yeah.
to like actually, using humor, using optimism, like, kind of flipping the script on these sick kids and saying like, no, actually, this is a great place for them to be. Just speaks volumes to who you both are, but also the approach that you're taking. So well done. I'm hoping that, more creatives can follow suit, and that the more projects that you all are working on, the better that the industry and the impact that you make will be. So very, very exciting to see.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you so much for joining us today, Erin and Heather. Where can folks learn more about both of you and your work?
Probably our websites. I am at heatherapple.com.
And I'm erinstevensmadethat.com. Or you can visit Public Ink.
Our website's linked together. And
Aww.
then, you can always go to the Public's website, or you could just check us out on LinkedIn. We're there too.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, both of you, for helping us shine a light and learn from those who are doing it well and reducing the missed opportunities for good.
We want to hear from you. Let us know, what campaigns are you seeing that are doing it well? Who would you like to see us interview? And what campaign would you like us to audit?
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on our mission to revolutionize the industry that we love.
Missed Opportunities for Good is a production of Aligned for Impact and Love of Good.